Headset microphone. Wait. I'm so confused right now. Okay, wait. Can you hear me now? Let me see. Because it definitely should be working. That's crazy. Settings. Bluetooth and devices. Devices. Headphone, headset. Wait, what if I take it out? Driver error. Okay. Is it working now? Oh, did I just make it do something I was supposed to do? Okay. Okay. Can y'all hear me now? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. I see yes, but I don't know if that's like yes to being able to hear me or what. That is so embarrassing. Because come on, Doug. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the only thing that I can hope is that it's actually working now. So yeah, please let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Because I was talking about my tea this entire time. That's so embarrassing. Dang, that's gonna be on a live playback. Okay, great. Y'all can hear me now. Dang. So what I was saying about the live is that I can't go back and edit any parts of the video because otherwise you guys won't be able to see the chat replay. So now when I upload this dang video for Hardest Med School courses, it's gonna look like I was talking to myself on mute for like however long. All right, bro. And this is where I be making YouTube videos and I don't be going live because I don't be knowing what I'm doing. But if y'all ever had this tea, before we get into the chat, let me know. Let me know if y'all like this tea. It's gonna be my first time trying it. I'm usually not a fan of super fruity teas. Like I prefer like chais and black teas and Earl Greys. So please do tell me. Oh, I gotta refrigerate this after opening it. It say add the desired amount of tea. It is best when adding the tea and water at a ratio of 3 to 7. I mean, okay. I'll be right. Okay, there we go. So I did a tablespoon of the tea and then collagen powder. And we're gonna see how it tastes. My collagen doesn't taste like anything. 10 out of 10 recommended supplement for the stress on your skin. Please. I don't think that my skin would be as healthy and as clear if I didn't take all my supplements that I do. Because your girl be stressed. Your girl be stressed and she be tired. Now let me see. Okay. So now let's get into today's topic. I'm gonna talk to you later because now I gotta talk to my clients. Okay. And before y'all ask, no, that is not my man that was on the phone. I don't have a man. I think at the end of the day, having a boyfriend just ain't gonna work. It's just not gonna work. I don't think it's for me. I will no longer be forcing it. I'm cool. So let's get into this conversation. I don't know if you can see on the screen like what the courses are. Okay, wait, let me get closer so y'all can see them at least. There we go. So my top three. Hey y'all. So my top three hardest courses are cardiology, neuro, and renal. They're like around the same rank to me, and then psychiatry. So now I'm going to talk about why that is. Obviously, these are subjective opinions. Well, actually, no. I feel like cardiology is hard for everybody. I don't care what anybody says. Um, I don't care what anybody says. I feel like cardio, in of itself, as a topic, is just super involved. There's a lot of physiology that, in my opinion, you probably have no exposure to the types of questions that they're going to be asking you for cardiology, right? Like I was a pre-med major, and then even before that, when I was at my initial university, Towson University, um, sorry, I'm talking mad smack. Sorry, if my HBCU down, only Morgan and Morgan State is recognized. But when I was at Towson, I was a molecular biology and bioinformatics major with a minor in psychology and I was a double minor in psychology and chemistry. And I promise you, even with all that hard coursework, because in my job it was a plus minus system, and I'm a firm believer that plus minus school systems tend to be a bit more difficult in terms of the material because there's such little difference between like the A plus and the A minus, and like they just try to get super technical with you. And so even with me taking those very advanced courses, I just don't feel like anything would have prepared me for cardio because the physiology that they were asking, who was doing that? Who was doing that? Reading EKGs, there that does come up on step one. If you're a pre-med student watching this, I actually don't know who all is watching this unless y'all say hey to me. Hey again. Um, but I would say that there is like on step one, there is so much material related to cardiology. So not only is it a difficult class, it's a very important subject that comes up a lot. And they can ask you a bunch of different things about like different parts of the cardiovascular system, and the physiology of the heart impacts your entire body. So you could get a question stem that's literally just like a person out of breath, a person out of breath, a person tired, and you're supposed to link that to the fact that, oh, this person has congestive heart failure. You're supposed to link it to the fact that they have buildup in their lungs from their heart not having forward flow and proper perfusion, to the rest of the body, to the systemic system. And that's just not intuitive, in my opinion. So I think like cardio is so hard, man. I almost failed it. That was the only course in my preclinical that I almost failed. I do have those videos up on my channel if you guys are interested in watching those. If you haven't already, I'm pretty sure I'm crying in the video thumbnail because I literally didn't think that I was gonna pass. I thought it was up. And at my school, if you don't pass, you have to retake the course over the summer, which is like, that's unfortunate. But I think that they rewrite the course grade to where anything that happened prior doesn't count. Like other institutions won't see that you had to take it over again. So that's really nice. But I had so many things lined up the summer of my preclinical year that me retaking it would have been an L. So didn't think that I was gonna pass it. By God's grace, I passed it. And I would say like 10 out of 10, hardest class ever. Like, cause what else made it difficult other than the physiology and not being familiar to it? Hey, hey, hi. Oh, I like that y'all are actually saying hello to me in the chat. I feel like we're on FaceTime. Hold on while I try to drink this tea because what if I burn myself? Hold on. That's hot. Oh, that's good. Hold on. Y'all, this is really good. It's really good. Hold on. 10 out of 10 recommendation. The yuzu tea, I'm gonna bring it back at some point so y'all can see it. Take a screenshot because that's good. Go to your local H Mart. Hold on. With the peptides. Yeah. I almost failed neuro. I gotta see. So yeah, we're gonna get to that next. But did y'all have any cardio questions, like specific questions related to the topic? Because I want this to be not just my experience of the topic and just like how I did it, but also just questions that y'all possibly have. Is the tea fruity? It is. It is. It's like a subtle fruit though. It's not. I don't like overly sweet things. I'm just putting that out there. Like, let's say one day, for whatever reason, I get to the point where I'm getting like PO box stuff. Don't ever gift me no candies. I hate candy. I do. I don't like candies. I don't like chocolate. I don't like a lot of like desserts, period, unless it's pie. I can eat apple pie all day. I don't like cake. I don't like cupcakes. So if it was super fruity, I would tell y'all because I would not be drinking this. I'm so sorry. But it does taste like there's a decent amount of sugar in here. So this is something that I probably won't be drinking all the time, or I'm gonna have to reduce how much I put in here. Like a tablespoon might be too much. I might have to do half a tablespoon. Yeah, that's just me though. Um, but yes, any cardio specific questions? Because I'm trying to think. Like I said, I would say top three high yield things to know for cardio would be cardiac murmurs. You're gonna be asked about those murmurs all the time, like all the time. So if you are struggling with it, just get it done now because it's gonna keep coming up. So murmurs, I would say congestive, not congestive. Um, what am I trying to say? Congenital heart defects, those come up a lot. And murmurs and congenital heart defects are sometimes grouped together. And then infective and infectious type diseases related to the heart. So any of the pathogens that will mess with your heart and give you some type of endocarditis, you need to know that. So you need to know that down. Let me see. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing so many messages. I missed it. I'm applying to medical school in 2026. Oh no, and the big beautiful bill will affect me too. It won't be easy, but I just want to say don't give up your dreams. Keep pushing. Everything will work out. Oh, I love the positivity. Yes, please be positive towards each other too. Um, obviously I'm speaking from a perspective of already being in med school, so I'm not ever going to be able to share the perspective of what it's like entering into medical school under these different administrative changes. So please, y'all, get in community, link up. That is a terrible hand motion. Pretend you didn't see that. But link up, make friends, get mentors who can understand the process with you. That is going to carry you through 10 out of 10 every time. Um, I know I have to study cardio again for boards next summer. Not looking forward to the math of that. Yeah. Cardio is my biggest op. Every time, like now, when I get ready to do step two, because I'm gonna make another video on how I restudy for step one and pass the second time. So I'll go into it a little bit there. But for step two, I'm starting on cardio early because I just know that my brain doesn't like it. I know that my brain is not a fan of it. So that is the one subject I'm gonna be spending an extra amount of time on. I'm thinking I want to be a cardiologist. I'm interested to see what about the class you thought was difficult. Also, how long are you taking the classes for? That's a great question. So, at my institution, and this varies by institution, our blocks were anywhere from just like 2 weeks. We had courses that were only 2 weeks long, so that would be dermatology and psychiatry. And then we had courses that were anywhere from a whole month, so 4 to like 8 weeks long. I want to say that cardio was like 6 to 8 weeks. It was definitely one of the longer courses for sure. But again, this varies by institution. I know that there are some that don't have discrete blocks where you just kind of learn continuously and then all of the different foundational subjects come up. So you might have like continuous physiology and then you learn different aspects of physiology. So cardio physiology, neurophysiology, all as like one foundational course. So you really have to just pay attention to the schools that you're applying to and the schools that you're interested in. Because yeah, that's going to depend on the institution. So mine was anywhere, I want to say from 6 to 8 week long. I hated it. I hated every week of it. I cried my butt off. We always had a midterm, always had a final. Didn't pass my midterm the first time, passed the final, ended up passing the block because I passed the final as well as the anatomy lab. Now, me and anatomy, that's an honestly, and I'm no, this is low key kind of naive of me. I definitely thought that I would be a good surgeon because I really love anatomy. And the primary thing that you do as a surgeon is be able to locate anatomical positions and places and like rectify them and correct them and do what you gotta do. So I loved anatomy. So that was something else that boosted my score for cardio because that's something, yeah, that's something that also comes up a lot. So I would say top three things actually. So cardiac murmurs, all of the things related to congenital diseases. So those two can kind of go together. Infectious diseases, and then anatomy. So like knowing what area comes where, especially when it relates to MIs or heart attacks. That is so important to know which area and which part of the heart that you're talking about. And that can be a bit confusing for people. I would say that that is one thing that I use Anki for, my flashcards for. That really helped me to memorize a lot of the anatomical positions of the heart. But yeah, those would be like the three things that came up a lot and can make it a little bit difficult because there's so much going on. It's a complicated system. Um, I'm super grateful for your tips and advice. I'll hopefully be applying in 2027. Hey, hey, a little celebration for all the pre-meds in the chat. Please, yes, even with the administrative year, like administrative changes, y'all, don't give up on your dreams. I mean, I'm just a girl. Y'all about to see me job hunting and stressing and struggling, and I have nearly failed courses. I failed exams. I've had like a rough go of it, and I'm still here. So I'm a firm believer of like, bruh, if I can do it, you can do it because I am a type B med student down. Like not even really type B. I'm an ADHD med student down. I get very tired easily. I get lazy. I get bored easily. So trying to like get my mind to focus on something as intensive as medicine has been a challenge. It really has. I'm actually going to make a video on academic accommodations for that reason and just try to be as resourceful as possible for y'all because there is a way to get through it. Don't let people scare you and make it seem like medicine is impossible. That's not true. You just have to ask the right questions and be aware of the right things, and you can get through a lot. You can get through a lot just by word of mouth. So I hope that my lives and the things that I post on my channel, they help you in some way. I'm sorry that it's not always like how to type of advice. I try my best to just like talk and just like give very much FaceTime so that y'all know that like I didn't curate this. I don't have anything written down. This is just me, raw thoughts off the dome. So yeah, this is really good. I'm supposed to be doing my hair care, y'all. Y'all distracting me. Hold on. I'm ADHD too. I'm telling you, when I give my little academic accommodations talk and video, y'all are gonna be like, and you were functioning in medical school, how exactly? Because it was bad, y'all. Like my attention span, my attention span gives very much brown squirrel. It does, it does. And that's a reason why I can talk all day. Like y'all, I didn't know it wasn't normal for people to talk for like hours at a time and like not stop. No, I thought everybody did that. I didn't know that it wasn't normal for people to have like crazy amounts of intrusive thoughts, like so many things that I thought were just, everybody does this, bro. It was ADHD. No, you're super helpful. Anything is helpful, and you speak from the heart. Very appreciated. Y'all gonna make me cry, but seriously, um, yeah, I really do hope that that comes across. Just like me being myself and like everything that I deal with. Yeah, especially when it comes to academics, because yeah, these three courses definitely tried to take me out. So I would say that that's pretty much it for cardio. So getting ready for physiology that you probably never ever experienced before in your life, getting ready to understand the cardiac murmurs, the congenital heart diseases, anatomy, and all of the infectious diseases, y'all. There's a lot of infectious diseases related to the heart, especially when we're talking about like things that you inject into your body. So that's super, super high yield, all of the blood-borne diseases. That's really good to know if you want to start that early. I don't actually recommend that y'all do that. Hello, actually, let me preface that. I don't actually recommend that y'all start trying to study well in advance for med school. Please enjoy your time. Hello, please enjoy your time. Go to the water park. Go hang out with your friends. Go on vacation and save your money. Save your money. Like I was saying before, work, save your money, and enjoy, right? Like live your life like a regular adult before you try to go to med school because you're going to have plenty of time to study and stress. So please, like, don't think that that's something that you got to start immediately. I beg of you. I was gonna ask, looking back on before you were diagnosed with ADHD, did you have any signs that something was wrong and it prompted you to get tested? Honestly, I would say like my inability to handle stress. When I started my dedicated period, right, I had come off of a pretty good semester. I'm not gonna lie. So at my school, we only had a half a semester, right? I want to say we had like two, three, no, not two, three. We had half a semester prior to going into dedicated, so only the fall season. And my grades were great. Like I actually had excelled. I did really well in what did we take? Like psychiatry, I barely like that was barely there. So I was playing around with psych. But I did really good with like I want to say neuro was that year. I did really good with neuro. I did really good with integrated health systems. I was doing great in my what do you call those? Like my OSCEs and my clinical courses and clinical directives. Like I even ended up getting one of the higher grades for one of our final semester assessments for the clinical skills lab. Toot my own horn. Simply because like I had gotten so much more confident in my ability to learn by that time, but I noticed that something was off when I took my CBSE, which is like the practice version of NBME. So you have CBSEs and then you have NBMEs, and these are all similar versions to step one, the actual step one examination, right? So I took my CBSE and y'all, I fell asleep. I shared that on my channel before, but like that's weird, right? The fact that I am here taking such like a high stakes exam to say whether or not I'm ready to go into my dedicated period, how the heck did I manage to fall asleep? I also didn't really pay attention that well while I was taking the exam. Um, like it was weird. It was overall just like a weird experience. So I knew that something was wrong and I just couldn't put my finger on it. And then I just kept having a hard time sitting down and studying. These people were like, "Oh, you need to do 80 practice questions a day." Y'all, I would get to maybe question 10 and be ready to get up. I would get to question 10 and be like, "I don't want to do this. We don't want to do this. We don't want to do this anymore." So I was like, okay, yeah, something is off. I'm not sure what. And then with everything that happened in my personal life in the spring with people unfortunately passing away, I realized like, okay, my ability to handle stress is abysmal. I already felt that way in the fall, but now it's really hitting me and I need to go see what's wrong. It's just unfortunate that I didn't really stand my ground and stick to my needs and saying, hey, look, I'm not ready to take this assessment. And I took it anyway and I didn't pass the first time as a result. That freaking sucks. But I would say that the signs were definitely there in terms of my ability to handle stress and how easily distracted I was. That is like 10 out of 10 ADHD, like ding 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 ding, ding, you need to go see that lady. Do you have a big little program at your school? I'm going to be a big and in the fall, and I hope to be as good as my big. I do have like not necessarily a big little program, but I do have mentees. I have like four mentees. I consider y'all my mentees. Y'all are either my mentees or my family, either or. But I think that just getting involved and figuring out a way to give back is super important. And honestly, it's a great way to stave off stress. Not gonna lie to you, when you can focus your energy on something else that's not you and your problems and what you have going on, it feels great, especially when you can solve people's problems in real time. It gives you that like dopamine hit. I love when my mentees call me and ask me about anything. They be telling me about their little raggedy boyfriends, their little raggedy date lives, and like I can give them advice as just like a grown woman outside of just being a med student. And I love it. I think it's great. Definitely give back to your community when you can. 10 out of 10 stress relief. Even like basic volunteering too. But that leads me into my second part about neuro and renal. You're not gonna have time for that. You're not gonna have time for that when you're doing neuro and renal. Neuro and renal are such brain power intensive subjects, y'all. It's not even funny. Like the things that you have to memorize for those two courses, I would say that like don't even think that you're gonna have extra time to do stuff. You're just not. There's so many pathways for neuro that you need to know. They are non-negotiables. They're related to strokes. Strokes are so high yield on step one. You do not have time to be lollygagging and playing around. You don't. And it moves rather fast because there's so much anatomy. Neuroanatomy is its own subject within itself. So you're kind of learning two things at once. You're learning neurophys and neuroanatomy at the same time, and they're both equally dense. And I'm talking derivatives of the brain, what is it, like prosencephalon and telencephalon, and you have to know that stuff. Like the stuff that you think is irrelevant and it's, whatever. No, you need to know it. You need to know it. It came up on my exam. It came up on my exam a lot. So don't think that you're going to be outside living your best life during neuro, baby. You're going to be living in that dorm. You're going to be living in that house. You're going to be living in them books because it is a lot. It's a lot. Let's see. At your school, would you have been able to take an extended dedicated period and still start clinical rotations on time? So that is an option at most schools. So let's say you are greatly struggling with these different topics that I have up here, or you're struggling in other areas, or you're just tired, or whatever the case may have you. Taking an extended period is usually offered by most institutions. How long that extended period of time is depends on the institution. So for me, my extended period was only like an extra month, I think. Let me not lie on these people. Let me see. Mm, it actually was longer than that. Like I did have a decent extended study period time. My issue was that I tried to take extended study in the middle of my dedicated period. So I also have videos on that. I have a whole playlist on that. And you can see where I'm trying my best to study with the original timeline and it's not going well. and then I decided to take extended midway through the regular dedicated period. I am going to really stress this to y'all. If you feel like you need extra time to do anything, go ahead and take that time. Like, because here's my thing, if you request the time, right, more time, and you don't actually need it, that means you can just take the exam earlier, take whatever you need to take earlier, no harm, no foul. But if you need the extended time and you're running out of time, that makes things way more complicated. You start getting stressed out, like, oh my God, am I going to get approved? Oh my God, like my study plan, and I got to restart studying, and I was rushing this and rushing that. Try to just get that done at the like onset of when you feel like you might need the extra time. That's my advice there. Did I install this hairstyle? And I did. And I did. Y'all like it? Do you like it though? I was actually shook at how well the color match was because y'all, once I dyed my hair permanently red, because y'all will never see me with black hair again. I'm just letting y'all know. I will forever be a redhead down. So I was nervous that it wasn't gonna match because I haven't been able to find any hair that matches. So this is the first one that dyed correctly. So thank you. Thank you. Y'all like it? I'm in grad school and we're taking neuroanatomy in the fall. Yes. So yeah, just prepare to stay in the house, baby girl. Stay. You're gonna be in the house. Neuro is not one of those courses where you can afford to play around. I'm gonna keep it real with you. If you try to play around, you're gonna play with yourself. You're gonna be sick. You're gonna be sick because you're not gonna be passing. Because it's just a lot. It's not even a hard course, I would say. It's just a very. It does the most. It's a lot. It's like, bruh, one day you're studying the derivatives of the brain, and then the next day you need to know where this tract goes and how this neuron goes here. So my best advice for neuro is honestly to break it down into like different subtopics and make sure that you're thoroughly covering each one of those subtopics. So let me wash my hands and then I'm gonna tell you what those are. Because please, for the love of God, anytime that y'all do skincare, do not be touching your face with no dirty hands. I'm judging you. And with love, but I am judging you. If you touching your face and you're not washing your hands prior, I'm judging you. Like, I wish I could pick up my camera off the tripod so y'all can see how dirty my hands are right now. And like the amount of whatever that's coming off of it. It's gross. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. But yeah, I would say for the subtopics in neuro, for you to make that more digestible in terms of content, I would say the first bucket needs to be derivatives. So that's going to be where did these different parts of your brain in your central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, where did they come from? That's going to be the very first thing that you need to look into. And it's going to look like a lot, and it is. It is. Personally, again, I'll go over this and how I passed step one the second time. I'll go over it in that video, but I am a person that really studies better by writing things into like a whiteboard or into a Word document. It is very time consuming, but let's say I watch a video. I watch the video on 2x speed and I will be typing out different ways to organize what I just heard. So I do a lot of like talking to the text and that helps me organize it in my brain better. Again, it takes forever. Actually, is there a way for me to? I think there's actually, because I kind of want to show y'all what I mean, so y'all can see how I studied. Let me pull it up. I look crazy from the side profile. Let me see, because it doesn't make any sense for me to say it when I can literally just show it to you. Um, Let me go to my step one. Like, yeah, I made a whole little folder and everything. I was not playing around my second time because I refused to be playing with my life and having to take it 3 times. No. Okay. Now let me do this. Window capture. Actually, no. Okay. Can y'all see this? If I do this? Boop. Okay. Can y'all see this? Okay, yeah, you should be able to. Um, I can't see the chat right now, so I'm just gonna like talk through it and then I will come back to the video. But essentially what I did was break down these different sections, right? And then I would write out like all of this I wrote in my own words. So I came up with the header for vectors and transmission, labs and tests, clinical findings, associated conditions, right? Like I did all of this and then just filled this in. So I'm a big outline girly. Like I love a good outline. So I will make outlines while I'm listening to a video. I will make outlines from, reading a PDF. And as you can see, y'all, this is 155 pages. Like I was not playing. Again, very time intensive, but this is just how my brain works. I would highlight things in red that I wasn't getting correct, that like I wasn't, understanding, or I would continue to get wrong. I would highlight things in blue that would be like mnemonics and things that I like. Um, and yeah, like this is, yo, I never realized how much it was, but yeah, this is me. This is how I study. I don't know. It works. So I'm not gonna stop it now. Let me know if y'all were able to see that before I continue, because otherwise I was just yapping and y'all have no idea what I was saying. And that's embarrassing. And this is a great little break anyway for me from the yap while I scrub my lips. Can't go around having crusty lips. So yeah. Y'all let me know if that made sense. Okay, you were able to see it. Did y'all have any questions about it? Right. So this is, like I said, this is what I mean by breaking things down into like little subjects, little subtopics, because it can honestly, these topics can kind of overwhelm you with how much information they're trying to present. So I just found it so much better to break it down into many buckets that I knew that I would understand. And like creating an outline is how I did that. So were you just rereading through that document as you studied? So I did both. I was rereading the document every day, right? So while I was going, so cardio, for example, was one of my weaker subjects. So I started with that when I redid my step one licensing exam. I started off watching a bunch of videos, reading a bunch of PDFs, right? And I was taking in all of this third party information. And then I made a document that had like, I didn't show it, but I had like a cardio section in that document. And I would just break things down and literally talk to myself on this document. So that was an active way of studying, right? Like here's what this video said, here's what I understood, and then I would go over it every single day. So it would be like twice. So actually creating the document and then studying the document. So it was like two levels of studying. And I don't know. I think that that is, hold on. I'm trying to clean this brush. Hold on. There we go. I think that that is the main game changer for me when it came to studying for my second pass of step one, because like I just realized, like I said, it was just so much information, and my brain was not organizing that information well. And I just firm believer of, it doesn't matter how smart you think you are if you can't like recall the information, if you cannot have an active place in your brain where this information is stored. I think that you do yourself a disservice. So I would say for neuro, all of these that I have up on the screen, these top three hardest, that is my go-to method for making sure that you get this information down. Um, so yeah, subtopics. I'm even going to put it in the chat. I'm just going to put it in the chat so y'all can see it. I like to incorporate cartoons like SpongeBob for memorization into my notes, and it's working. I mean, listen, I'm a visual learner as well. And if you guys have ever heard of Sketchy, Sketchy is basically a cartoon, right? It's a cartoon of medical things. And a lot of people, including myself, we like it and we use it. So you just gotta realize what your brain, how your brain works. But these are like the topics for neuro that I would break down. So I would do derivatives, I would do congenital defects, I would do anatomy by section. So pons, midbrain. Wait, oops, midbrain. Pons, medulla, and then strokes and stroke paths. So I just put it into the chat rather than like trying to go over it. Because again, these are, if you're a pre-med student, these are things that you don't have to worry about. If you're an incoming student and or you just started medicine, these are things that you can take away and just like have it for your reference about what you might want to go over. But yeah, I would say that that's what makes neuro the hardest, is that it's just a lot. It's a lot that goes on and you can easily get lost. Neuro was my best subject. I ended up getting like a 94 for that block. I don't know, y'all, I was cooking. Cooking, and I would say that it was only because I liked it. I mean, with ADHD, it is important that you actually like what it is that you're doing. Otherwise, you get easily distracted. And because I liked neuro, it was easy for me to focus. And when you have ADHD, being hyper focused is like the opposite end of your distracted spectrum. And so I was not playing. Like, me and neuro was locked in. I didn't mind that I was in the house all day. I really liked it. So there's that. And then I might use Sketchy for Farm. I heard it's really good. I actually personally don't like Sketchy Farm. Personally. There's too many medicines on the screen at once. It's overwhelming for me. So the way that I learned Farm was by, like, my school actually had a really good pharmacist, or like pharmacology teacher. So I just used his documents. I used in-house exams. Just saying. Now for renal, the reason why I have renal next to neuro and I said that they're about the same in difficulty is because renal is another one of those that's like, it could sneak up on you if you're not being careful. Like, renal is simple enough in terms of the physiology. Thank you for the congrats, by the way. But renal is simple enough. But baby, don't be up there playing and forgetting, because the nephron has so much going on. There's so many different injuries that can happen to the kidney. Everything just messes up your kidneys. You take too many acetaminophen, you take too much Tylenol, your kidneys get damaged. You know, your kidneys are sensitive. So it's a lot of toxicology within renal that can sneak up on you if you're not careful. I want to say there's so many toxicities related to the kidneys that are outside of just like basic pain pills. Like, dang near everything that you take is about to damage your kidneys. But then you have to know the type of damage that you're going to get. You have to know the type of damage, where the damage is. Like, your kidneys are so annoying. Like, I'm sorry, the nephron is annoying because there's so much that goes into it in terms of toxicology. And that's, to me, also not a very intuitive topic. I don't know anybody who took toxicology as a pre-med. I mean, like, shout out to y'all if y'all are doing that now. Y'all are advanced because I did not take that. So having to learn like the toxicology, that was irritating. Then there's a lot of physiology in terms of like the actual blood flow and different nutrients that are reabsorbed in the kidney and where they're at in the nephron, where they get absorbed, what types of drugs that you take that will alter, the metabolism of like whatever. So let's say you're trying to take like a loop diuretic. Then you need to know where in the nephron the loop diuretic acts. You need to know what electrolytes and what other things, minerals and crap are being wasted when you take a loop diuretic. Like, like, bruh, y'all see how exasperated I'm getting? I'm getting like war flashbacks. I did not like renal. It was so annoying, but it was also one of my top classes, and I think that was like a revenge lick back. Like, I did not enjoy I keep saying neuro. I did not enjoy renal nephrology. I did not enjoy it, but I was somehow able to focus on it just because I was trying to get it up out the way, y'all. Like, I was ready to go. I was ready to go. In my opinion, I would say if I had to rank them in order of likability, renal is at the bottom three for sure. For sure, I did not enjoy it. But it is doable. It's a doable class. I would say it's more doable than neuro. I could see why people really struggle with neuro. I think that renal is just one of those things where it's so like straightforward enough that it's easy for you to forget about. Oh, I really gotta like care to study for this, and it can sneak up on you. So that's why it's up there at number two. And then last but not least is psych. You know, actually surprised at how difficult psych was because I used to be a psych major. And it wasn't difficult because of the disorders per se, it was the technicalities of a lot of psych. Um, so when you take this course, you're going to notice that there are a lot of conditions that have the same exact timeline, or not even the same exact timeline. They have the same exact symptoms, right? There's a lot of overlap, especially when we're talking about intoxications. Lots of overlap. And the only thing that's going to help you differentiate, okay, this is A and not B, is going to be the timeline. So let's say you have a question stem where a person has, they present with what is it like audible hallucinations, right? They're hearing voices and they're stumbling around and they're, out of touch with reality. You're like, oh, well, this is schizophrenia. But then they tell you that they've only been like that for about 4 months. JK, it's not schizophrenia, it's schizophreniform. And it's like different levels of the conditions based on when they present. And those technicalities are so irritating, so irritating. What does he say? Your school use in-house exams or do they use MBMEs? Um, so my institution used both in-house and NBMEs. So in my first full preclinical year, we used a mix of both to where it would be like the midterm would be a house exam and then the final would always be an NBME. And that was very frustrating, y'all. I actually don't recommend going to a school that uses in-house exams because those people can really put whatever they want up on that test. And it could be something stupid and minuscule that like, oh, they said it in the middle of lecture and because you didn't go to lecture, you don't know it. Or like, oh, it was in a tiny little corner on this 112th slide that you probably skipped over. It's very, very petty in how you lose points on in-house exams. So I don't really care for them. And I would say that if you are, let's say you're interviewing at different institutions or whatever, knowing whether or not they do in-house exams versus MBME is so, so important because at the end of the day, you kind of don't have time to be studying all these little nuances that don't actually matter when it comes to your licensing exam and your licensing prep. And it can just be very frustrating. So yeah, my second semester though, so my first year was from what is it, like the summer to the summer. And then when I started in my fall semester of my last portion of preclinical, because at my school preclinical is only 18 months. So for that last semester, it was all NBME, and I like that way, way better. Because it also was helpful in knowing what the licensing examiners care about and not what my teachers care about. I hate those in-house exams. No, exactly. In-house exams are such a scam. I'm sorry. I feel like okay. I feel like in-house assessments are really only useful when you're talking about clinical skills, right? Like I think you can have really, really great clinicians as educators and having them help you through skills, hands-on practice, right? Like I would say my clinical skills, patient-centered course was the best course in terms of being strictly this is dependent on my preceptor. I loved it. I feel like I learned a lot of really good clinical skills. I had a lot of clinical confidence. I still do. Like even though I've been out of school for a minute, I have so many things I have practiced and rehearsed again and again and again and again that it's like clockwork. It's just not something that I even have to think about. I always can just jump back into it because of how hands-on my school was with that. So that is the only portion that I'm okay with them kind of making stuff up on the fly, and it depends by the school. But when it comes to them exams, I need y'all to be standardized. I need everybody to be one band, one sound because I don't have time to be learning stuff that doesn't matter. Like for cardio, my school and I have beef forever over this. My school hammered so hard EKGs. Y'all, on my step one exam, I had one EKG. I had one EKG on both times. Like both times that I took step one, the first time that I didn't pass and the second time that I did, there were barely any EKGs. I did not even need to look at the EKG on the exam in order to get the question correct. And we took like 2 weeks, 2 weeks. I'm talking extra 2, 3 hours post exams to take these EKG specific trainings like I was about to go into the ED tomorrow. I was so irritated. That was, oh my God. That was another reason why I didn't like cardio because what are we doing? What are we doing? So we did all of that for it to not even be relevant for step one. Oh, I was pissed. I was hot. I was hot. Um, so anyways, back to psych. What I was saying was the thing that makes it difficult is understanding the timelines of all the different conditions because there's a lot of overlap. Also in psych, they love them some developmental steps. So knowing that your baby is supposed to be able to lift up its head by like, was it like 7 months? That baby is supposed to be able to walk by one. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be able to walk on all 10 toes by like one. They're supposed to know how to draw circles at the age of 3, and then they need to be able to draw a triangle at the age of 5. Then they need, bruh, like knowing all of those different developmental stages This is what you will never catch me being a pediatrician. You will never catch me being somebody's OBGYN. You know why? Because bump them kids. Kids. I'm sorry. I'm not interested and you don't get paid enough. And they ask crazy about those developmental stages. Please. So that made it kind of hard too because not intuitive. You're not being asked about that in your pre-med courses, or at least I wasn't. Hated that. Hated that. That was a crazy amount of questions. Random question. Do you have a classmate named Shernice? I don't know who that lady is. Shernice. Lord forgive me if I do. Cause y'all, I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes I be feeling like I'm not even in med school for real. I be feeling like I'm just a student who takes medicine courses because the way that I don't talk to my cohort, and some of them be watching my channel. Y'all, I actually got two of my classmates hit me up on the side and they were like, oh, like, oh, I've been watching your videos. How are you doing? Excuse me. I was so shook because I don't talk to them. I have never talked to them for real. And this is no shade, no tea. Like if they happen to come up on my screen again, let's say y'all in the live right now, this is no shade. Let's say y'all watch my video later. This is no shade. I was just surprised because while I was in preclinical, I didn't talk to anybody. I had that one group of friends that went downhill and we stopped being cool after that. And so I just kind of stayed to myself thereafter. Um, Also, I'm always hearing that people be getting snitched on. I be hearing like mad people be getting reported to like my student progress and student affairs committee. So, baby, I try to stay about the weight. You try to stay about the mix because y'all are not about to snitch on me because I don't have the tolerance for my admin anymore. After my LOA and after everything that I've been through, they better leave me alone. I know that. How many classes do you take in your first semester of medical school? Does the number increase or stay the same as you move into second, third, and fourth years? Um, so I would say, again, this is school dependent, but at my institution, there were 8 systems total, right? And so we took a bulk of them in my first year, my first full year. I want to say that we had at least like 6 courses. And then in my last semester, so the last like 3 months of my second year, we had maybe like 3 courses. So you take like a good majority in your first year for your preclinical phases. And then your second semester, they kind of try to ramp you up to get ready for dedicated. So you're not learning as much material. At least that's what it seems to be across the board. But that is especially how it was in my institution. Third year, you don't have, oh, that was way too much. Third year, you don't have discrete courses because your main focus is to like be clinically sound. So they kind of leave you alone for the most part at my institution. I know that I have like SHS, which is like social health sciences. So I have like papers that I might need to write, but I have like who knows how long to do those. There might be enrichment courses, right? Where let's say I'm in surgery on my rotation, then I might have an enrichment course where I'm going and I'm learning specifically about like new and relevant things in the surgical sphere. It's not like how it would be in your preclinical years. We do have exams. You take shelf exams, which are standardized exams that everybody takes nationally. It's very low in terms of your passing rate. You only have to get within the 5th percentile because of just like how I guess difficult these exams are. I don't know. I haven't taken one yet, but my friend said that like that's separate study time. It's not really relevant to what you're doing on a day to day in the rotations. So and then fourth year is notoriously do nothing year because you're preparing to take interviews, right? You're submitting your ERAS application by the fall. So a lot of my friends, well, a lot of my associates and 2 of my friends will be applying to residency soon. So I want to say in like 2 months, they'll be applying and getting ready and they'll be doing interviews. And I'm so excited for them. You also do away rotations. So you'll be like doing auditions at different institutions to make sure that your name is getting out there and to like have them remember you so they can potentially choose you for match day. And yeah, but yeah, fourth year is notorious for you're kind of just chilling. Like after you're done interviews, when you're not on away rotations, because what more could they have you do? Like you're waiting to hear back if you got a job. So fourth year is kind of chill. Do you regret not choosing to attend any of the other medical schools you were accepted to, perhaps an HBCU? Y'all trying to get me in trouble. Let me go and put water in this. I'll be right back. Then that's a funny question. That's a funny question for a multitude of reasons, to be quite honest. Okay. Okay. Now, this is me being fully transparent because y'all know that I have never minded being transparent up on my platform. I think that this institution is not the best fit for me and who I am and the things that I care about, right? The things that are important to me. I would say that this was not the best fit. I don't necessarily regret it because I have a lot of connections here, right? I have really good mentors, I have really good opportunities, more so than students at other institutions, right? I have friends that go to smaller universities and the opportunities that they don't have compared to the ones that I do. I can't just ignore that. I can't ignore the fact that when I go to different interviews and when I go to different places, that saying that I come from my institution isn't going to have some weight. Okay. My school does have clout, my school does have recognition. So I can't just pretend like that doesn't matter because it does. Um, but I would say that overall, honestly and truly speaking, it probably just is not the best fit for my personality and the things that I care about, especially even just living down south. In terms of, do I feel like I could have been better served at an HBCU? I think that that depends. I went to an HBCU for my undergrad, so I understand how to kind of navigate and network around the HBCU a little bit better in terms of having those long term relationships. I will say that the staff at an HBCU, if you know who to talk to and where to go, those are people that will be in your corner forever. These are people who are going to be committed to and invested in your success. I want to say that I share this story pretty frequently on my channel about how my organic chemistry professor literally paid for my MCAT. Like he paid for my MCAT, he paid for certain things related to my application because he was just such a strong believer that I was going to go to medical school. I remember when I told him I took a gap year, I was so like stressed and distraught, and like this is still a professor that like I talk to this day. So I think that the family oriented aspects can be very strong at a HBCU, but then there are obviously other challenges that you have to deal with, like financial aid. I feel you. I don't know everybody in my class. I get random people talking about my channel to the dean, lying and saying that I was impersonating an orthopedic surgeon when I wasn't. See, look, that's not funny, but it's like, yo, people in medicine be weird. Unfortunately, sometimes, yo, these people are your biggest ops. They will make up things just to like get you in trouble, just because they don't want to see you prosper. I would like to thank God that I haven't ran into that, but I wouldn't be surprised if, please knock on wood that I don't, but I wouldn't be surprised if I did, like somebody saying something about my channel or saying something about what I post on social media. Because I be up here cussing. I be up here cussing. I be up here with my abs out. Like, you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of very strange, hyper traditional mindsets in medicine still. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody came across my content and were like, found a problem with it. I think the biggest thing is just like, I don't care. Like, I know that I'm not doing anything wrong. So if you have an issue about what I post, you're gonna have to take that up with somebody who's hearing you because I'm not. I'm not hearing you. I don't care. Um, but I definitely didn't start that way. Like I would say that I was pretty self-conscious when I first started making content. But now, yeah, now it's like if people have an issue with me, those are likely people who always wanted to have an issue with me. So what's the point of me like being nervous and just feeling some type of way about that? Like you were literally coming looking for a problem. You were coming looking for something to say about me and what I have going on. So why should I care? I don't. I won't. I refuse actually. Um Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to see if I can pull up the chat on my phone. So that way, because when I don't have my glasses on, I can't see what y'all saying. I can't see what y'all saying. Let me see. Click. Now, what is that? Okay. Let me lean down real quick, y'all, because I'm trying to see how do I put this on my phone? YouTube live studio dashboard. Okay, bet. Look at me, y'all. I'm learning. I feel like such an auntie whenever I do live streaming. I feel like such an auntie. Okay. I'm so confused right now. I just wanted to see the stream chat somewhere that what? Okay, you know what? We're gonna stop playing with that. Before I mess around and I accidentally turn y'all off or something. So we're just gonna leave that alone. Nope. Because what we're not gonna do is mess it up. Nope. 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 So, anyways, yeah, I would say that those are the top three hardest courses that I've taken. Um, I think that they're all doable so long as you understand your learning style. If you don't know your learning style, you're going to struggle. It doesn't matter the topic that you're doing. You could be doing something that's crazy intuitive, but because you don't know how to study for it, you're gonna fail. Like I'm gonna just keep it a buck with y'all. Y'all know I'm always gonna keep it a buck with y'all. Very honest with y'all. And not knowing how to study is like top 10 worst things. Top 10 worst things. Like going to professional school and not knowing how you learn, go ahead, hang that up. You're cooked. Freshly baked. You're cooked. What's this? Referring to your last video about the big beautiful bill, does the loan total you showed include any undergraduate loans, or is that just since starting med school? I would say I would say unfortunately, I think only maybe like 10K of that is from undergrad. The rest is from med school. So yes, I have accumulated with interest about $217,000 in debt. I already knew that by the time that I graduated, I was going to be about $500,000 in I accepted my fate. My goal was not to go over $500,000. And I told myself, so long as I'm not over $500,000, I'm cool. And that may be delusional. But I just genuinely believe that eventually, sometime soon come, that I'm gonna be earning a ridiculous amount of money to be able to pay that back for real, for real. Yeah, I have crazy faith. I have crazy faith that that's gonna be reduced. But yes, your girl did accumulate $200,000 plus in just med school fees already. And that obviously doesn't make me feel good because I'm not going to be going back to school until March. I don't know. I did update y'all. I told y'all that I officially will not be going back to school until March, March of 2026. I did get my elective credit, so I guess a win is a win. My case is still open and active, so I can't go into too much detail. But y'all, at this point, it's just too late to reinstate me. I don't even want to go back. I'm tired. If they could somehow get me back into rotation sooner, cool. I don't know how they would do that, but as of right now, I will not be rotating until next year. So that means my rotations will be from March of 2026 to the summer of 2027. And then I would be getting ready for step 2, getting ready for my ERAS in the fall of 2027 to then, figure out where I'm going at the end of 2027 to match and be done in 2028. That's the goal. That's the hope into where I would be working starting in 2028. If I somehow, some way don't end up getting up out of here until 2029, that's gonna be a whole different genre. By that time, bro, I'll be 30. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Because I turned 28 this year in October, Libra gang. And then I'll be turning 29 during my clinical rotations. I'll be turning 29. Oh God. And then I will be turning 30 as I'm applying to my ERAS. I'll be turning 30 and I will be 30 at the time of my graduation. I mean, low-key, that's kind of cool though. Because like that's like such a pretty, like perfect number. Like boom, welcome to my third decade. And I enter into my third decade with an MD behind my name. It's kind of dope. That's kind of cool. I don't know. Am I coping? Am I severely coping right now with the fact that I'm getting older? Maybe, but yeah. And I think by the time that I graduate, I'll have about $400,000 in debt, give or take. And yes, I am putting my glasses on with the face mask on. Dang. You have to take out more loans because of your LOA, or is that just how expensive your institution is? But you also had a tuition scholarship, right? Yes to all of that. Yes to all of that. So I received a scholarship that's the equivalent of in-state tuition, but because I was an out-of-state tuition, I'm out of state student, right? For 2 years, I paid the out of state rate. So that was $60,000 to my institution for those first 2 years. And then I went ahead and I applied, and I'm officially an in-state resident. So a majority of my fees to my school, they are covered by my tuition, but because I need a refund to live, I always take out my maximum amount of loans available to me, and I end up getting about like $15,000 back in refund. And I know that sounds like a lot. It's not. I'm always, like I said, about a month or two short in my expenses with me taking out my maximum amount of loans. Always. 30 is the new 20. Period. Period. Hey, hey. Thank you for saying that, because it's actually freaking me out that like I'm closer to 30 than I am to 20. And like y'all, I am going to talk about this in another upload where I said I've cut off so many people, y'all. I have so much tea to give y'all in terms of who I'm even still cool with, romantically, friendship wise. I was dating this guy who's like 31. I don't care. I'm throwing him under the bus. And I found out that he was like messing with a 21-year-old. Like, I went onto her page and Shorty just turned 22. I'm sorry. I love y'all. No matter y'all age, y'all are, you know what I'm saying, the family, my loves. But in terms of romantic attraction and being in close community, I feel like anything under the age of 25 is just unfamiliar to me. Like, I have mentees that are 22, 23, and some of the things that they tell me, I'm like, dang, am I getting old? Like, they tell me certain things about social media or just about like life in school. And I'm like, when Huh? Because I forgot that college is really a jungle. College is a strange, stressful place. And like when they tell me certain things, I'm like, yeah, nah, like early 20s, I don't know what that's like anymore. I think once I turned 26, it was cooked. It was cooked. Um, I really appreciate your time. Wishing you all the best moving forward. Yes, yes, of course. If y'all have to leave the live, don't please go ahead. I'm probably gonna shut down in like the next like 10 minutes since I was late. So I'm gonna stay on probably until like I'm probably gonna stay on until 9:20. I know that's such a weird number. Just in case there's last minute questions. And he said, dang, thanks so much for being honest. Yeah. It's expensive. It's expensive. It's also expensive when you make the wrong friends. I think that my time in medicine definitely could have been a lot smoother had I had better friendships in med school. Because, yeah, I gotta tell y'all about how I cut off this other girl. She could be watching this right now, and like, girl, it's all beef. Girl, you know I don't like you. So I have to tell y'all about that. Um, Girl, I'm 24 or 25 and I'm talking to a 33-year-old. See, but I feel like that's not bad because I feel like to me, the maximum is 7 years. And then once you're over the age of 25, I feel like it doesn't matter, right? Like if you're like 25 talking to a 35-year-old, I mean, like knock yourself out. Because I feel like by that time, you're well out of school, you've been out of college, you've been an adult paying bills, that's whatever. 21, you just got out of college. You just got out of college and you was probably messing with a super senior. You probably had college drama. Like college is a place where it's normalized that you can fight other adults. Okay? You're not getting away with that as a regular functioning adult with a full-time job. You're not getting away with going to blows with another human being and not getting arrested. So the fact that you can do stuff like that, right? Get into beefs and drama and fighting, da da da, when you're in college is not a real place. So I just feel like an adult talking to somebody in college or fresh out of college, I can't condone that one. I can't condone that one, Pooks. So like 24 isn't horrible. 24 isn't horrible. I do side eye though. No shade, no shade, no shade. I am gonna side eye your man's because has he dated people in the 30s? You should probably ask him that dating history. Ask him when's the last time he has dated another 33-year-old, another 30-year-old, another 28-year-old. And if his answers are all, oh, I tend to date him young, I got some news for you, girl. I got some news for you that you might not like. You might need to get up out of there. And this is also like to say there are also strange personalities in medicine, period. Like those attendings be having some wandering eyes. They have some wandering eyes. They can be very patronizing. I'm not gonna lie, those are kind of the downsides of it being a super misogynistic kind of field, male dominant field, the things that some of these people feel entitled to do and say can be like, huh? Like, y'all, I remember when I was interested in orthopedic surgery. Oh my goodness. I had asked this man to like, because I found out that he was an orthopedic surgeon resident. He was like a third year of residency, whatever, whatever. And I remember I was trying to meet up with him for the sake of mentorship, right? This man starts complimenting my body, which like, okay, you know what I mean? Like we're grown. I'm grown. It's whatever. Thank you. But that's not why I'm hitting you up. This man then proceeds to say that he would like to feel my butt, that he would like to touch it to see whether or not it's firm. I beg your pardon? Like, what am I supposed to do with that? I blocked him so fast. I blocked him so fast. I was not playing with him. To this day, to every time I see him, I go like this because like you're weird, you're a weirdo, and like the fact that he felt so comfortable saying that, I know for a fact that somebody that's worked on somebody. It's worked on somebody's daughter. It was not going to work on me. So that's just something to be mindful of too. When you're entering into the medical space, a lot of these people feel again kind of entitled to you because they feel like they have something over you, especially if they feel like they can offer you something. Like, just be careful. Not everybody has good intentions. So yeah, I have girl. I could do so many story times. Yeah, yeah. And he was like, oh my god, it was so uncomfortable because he wasn't even my type. He wasn't even my type. He was saying that, and I was so grossed out. I was like, brother, blocked him so quick. And then my male friends proceeded to make jokes and were like, if I was a girl, I would be batting my eyelashes and getting away with no, no, no. We don't condone this. We don't condone, objectifying ourselves for the sake of moving up any corporate ladders. No. I mean, if that is what you're doing, I mean, like, be safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not knocking nobody's hustle. That's how you get down. But like, let's not like encourage that, right? If that's not something that somebody is doing, let's not encourage enticing these privileged men for the sake of like getting in good. Like, I did not need mentorship that badly that I was gonna let him say anything like that to me. Like, it's cool. I'm cool. You can catch this block. Period. Um, but yeah, I gotta start doing more story times rather than the story time on live. I have to upload story times for y'all because the things that I have experienced from just the social aspect alone in this profession, I have stories for days. Like my first conference, I have a story about that. Like I tried to record it and it wasn't that great, but y'all, like the social part of it was lit. I didn't pay for a dime that entire conference experience, and that's how I need it to be every time I go to a conference, every time I touch down in somebody's state. So I have story times about that. I have story times again about the raggedy friends, the friends that I've cut off. That is going to be a story time if y'all want it. I am making a video about it next week because I was actually kind of sad. I was kind of sad to lose this friend because we had so much in common with us both being in med school. So for me to like get to a point where I cannot stand her and I have to block her is kind of crazy. Yes. Girl, I'm so worried about dating in medical school. I want to have my person, but I also know it's going to be stressful and dating is already stressful. Um, I do actually plan to make a video about that. I have like a date next week. So that will be recorded. I won't post it next week. It'll go up some other time. But something that I am recognizing is that like people who come into your life while you're a professional student, they really do gotta offer you something. They have to offer you something because you're right. It's already stressful and you don't have time to be like taking away from your day-to-day schedule because the person that you're dating can't even establish basic communication. And one of my biggest pet peeves is somebody telling me, "Oh, I'm busy." I'm literally studying to put my hands on other human beings and save lives. Like I'm literally studying so that these hands are medically licensed. I don't want to hear nothing about you being busy and unable to text me. I really don't. Like that excuse is so tired. That's so inconsiderate as well, right? Because if I'm taking the time out of my day where I'm studying, I'm stressed, I'm paying bills, I'm doing all this stuff, and I still make the time for you and communicate with you, and you can't do the same back, where do we get out my messages? Um, and then people just sometimes like sometimes they don't have pure intentions with you because they know that you're gonna be like in a higher paying profession. I've definitely had some men hit me with the hey big money. Big money? You mean big debt? Like I don't got no money right now. So you gotta be mindful of that. But like I think it can be a worthwhile experience. I have a lot of friends who are in healthy, happy, loving relationships. All of my mentors found their person when they were in school. So it's doable. And we're gonna have a whole conversation about that. We're gonna have a conversation, have a story time. I'm gonna start putting out some polls. So please, y'all, I'm about to get off. Please make sure that y'all are following and keeping up with my community tab so y'all kind of know the things that I'm planning on rolling out and like when I'm planning on rolling them out. But just know that the next upload, I'm literally about to record it tomorrow, is going to be academic accommodations because I feel like most people might be starting medical school around now. It might be their first like block. So I want to get that out there. Then I'm going to end up recording how I passed step one the second time around, just because I plan on giving some study tips that would be useful for people who are starting out right now. And then I'm going to get more into like lifestyle stuff. So hunting for jobs, y'all will be coming with me on a date for that, telling y'all how my date went, telling y'all how I moved and the men that I've cut off and gotten rid of, the girls that I've gotten rid of. And then I'll do a poll if you guys want a story time on either one of those. So story time for like dating, my dating experience that made me realize that a boyfriend just ain't gonna work right now, or a story time on how I cut that girl off and like why she had to get about my life. Um, and then like I'll give like another third option because I think like incorporating story times can just be a fun way of y'all getting to know me on a personal level. So yeah. What inspired my chest tattoo? Oh, this? I actually drew all of the tattoos that y'all see on my body. I actually drew all of them. I have a lot of snakes, a lot of snake tattoos. I have a lot of spinal tattoos. Obviously, I have my neck tattoos. I just really love snakes. Like I know I not in real life, which is weird, but I love the symbolism of snakes. I think like serpents, they represent a lot of things, including like being misunderstood. There's a lot of healing benefits when it comes to snakes. I like that they're cold-blooded creatures. There's so many things that I like about snakes in of itself and the representation that they have in different cultures. So I do have 3 snake tattoos. I do. And then do I use dating apps? I don't anymore. I don't. I just think I think dating apps are a waste of time. I think my husband, he's gonna have to find me outside because once I start getting money to take myself out to like jazz clubs and I want to go to races. I want to go to NASCAR races. I want to go to like horse racing. Like I want to be able to put myself in environments where my husband might be versus like a dating app. Just because I feel like we live in a society where convenience is cooking our brains. Convenience is cooking our brains, and I think that that men who are used to scrolling and like just having access to like however number of women, I don't know. I'm not sure I'm a fan of what that is doing to people's brains in a romantic aspect. So with that said, I'm about to get off. I thank y'all for coming into the live. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully when I upload it, the chat will actually be like up and on. Um, how you made these men. Yeah, like I said, going to the places. But yeah, when I upload this, hopefully the chat will be up. Hopefully it won't look like I'm talking to myself. Forgive me that the chat, like the stream replay, is going to include a little section of me literally talking to myself on mute because I didn't know that y'all were not connected to the audio. That is super embarrassing. But yeah, that's it. That's all. I will be getting in to all of that personal stuff and some future uploads. Stay tuned. Thank y'all so much for joining me. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. Bye bye. I don't want to like hang up on y'all. Hopefully, y'all say bye back before I click off because I really appreciate y'all staying on. Okay, yeah, I slowly see y'all dwindling down, so I'm gonna hang up.